What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Sunday, March 2nd, 2025, and I have some breaking news to share with you guys. Right now, it is 22:34 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from Russia. So, looks like the Ukrainians hit another oil refinery in Russia. And what you're looking at here is some fresh video footage from the area. And you can see this huge fire at this oil refinery. And this is the Ufa oil refinery in Russia's Bashkortostan region, which is located over 1,000 miles from the Ukrainian border. The attack has resulted in a significant fire at the city, which is one of Russia's largest oil refineries and supplies fuel to the Russian army. Local reports confirmed hearing the characteristic sounds of drones before the fire started, and kabooms were felt in nearby residential areas. Now, this oil refinery is known as the Ufimsky Oil Refinery. It was established in 1937 and is considered a critical asset in Russia's energy sector. The facility processes approximately 7 million tons of crude oil annually, primarily from Western Siberia and Bashkiria, producing high-quality Euro 4 and Euro 5 fuels. As one of Russia's key refineries, it supports both domestic energy needs and export markets, contributing significantly to the economy, which relies heavily on oil and gas for 45% of its budget. Okay, so this is very, very serious, guys. Ukraine launching a deep strike on Russia, taking out this 100-year-old oil refinery that is critical to Russia's domestic energy and export markets, okay, and provides fuel for the Russian army. And also, a Russian drone hit a residential building this evening full of civilians in the city of Kharkiv in northern Ukraine. Rescue efforts are currently ongoing. And apparently the U.S. plans to act as an intermediary and transport Russian gas through the Nord Stream 2 pipelines to Germany, the German Bild newspaper reports. According to Bild, secret talks have been taking place in Switzerland with Russia and the U.S. to discuss a deal for several weeks already. Okay, so for several weeks, the Russians and the Americans have been meeting in Switzerland, talking about transporting gas through the Nord Stream 2 pipeline to Germany. If this is true, that is absolutely huge news. And France and Britain proposed today a partial 1-month ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine that would not cover ground fighting, but would stop naval and air fighting. So no more drone attacks, no more missile attacks, no more naval attacks, but the ground fighting would continue. That's the proposal. I really doubt Russia's going to go for that. And Zelensky said today, after his emergency meeting with European leaders, that there will be more diplomatic peace efforts for the sake of us all being together, Ukraine, all of Europe, and definitely America. And he also said there has not been a day when we have not felt gratitude to the U.S. for support. And then he also rejected calls for an immediate Ukraine-Russia ceasefire. And Zelensky apparently told the BBC News today that Ukraine was once again ready to sign a minerals agreement with the U.S. So maybe European leaders tried to convince Zelensky to just sign the deal. I don't know. But here we have the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer talking about how the UK is going to be sending troops into Ukraine to enforce a ceasefire. I want you to listen to everything he has to say here. This is huge.
First, we will keep the military aid flowing and keep increasing the economic pressure on Russia to strengthen Ukraine now. Second, we agreed that any lasting peace must ensure Ukraine's sovereignty and security, and Ukraine must be at the table. Third, in the event of a peace deal, we will keep boosting Ukraine's own defensive capabilities to deter any future invasion. Fourth, we will go further to develop a coalition of the willing to defend a deal in Ukraine and to guarantee the peace. Not every nation will feel able to contribute, but that can't mean that we sit back. Instead, those willing will intensify planning now with real urgency. The UK is prepared to back this with boots on the ground and planes in the air.
With boots on the ground and planes in the air.
Planes in the air. Together with others, Europe must do the heavy lifting. But to support peace in our continent and to succeed, this effort must have strong US backing. We're working with the US on this point after my meeting with President Trump last week. And let me be clear, we agree with the President on the urgent need for a durable peace. Now we need to deliver together. Finally, we agreed that leaders will meet again very soon to keep the pace behind these actions and to keep working towards this shared plan. We are at a crossroads in history today.
He said, we are at a crossroads in history.
We are at a crossroads in history today. This is not a moment for more talk. It's time to act, time to step up and lead, and to unite around a new plan for a just and enduring peace.
Wow, strong words there from Keir Starmer. So it looks like basically Trump does not want to back up the UK and France if they send peacekeepers to Ukraine. That's the feeling that I'm getting, is that Trump does not want to be involved in this at all. He feels like Europe should be the one that secures the peace, and America basically has their hands free from this war. And basically all Trump is going to do is bring together Zelensky and Putin to sign the deal. But America does not want to be involved at all under Trump. Okay? So that's, I think, the big difference here between what the Europeans want and what Trump wants. The Europeans are for a peace deal, but they want the peace deal to have security guarantees, which would involve European peacekeeping troops on the ground in Ukraine, and they want America to back those troops up, but Trump doesn't want to be involved. He wants to stay neutral, okay? So we'll have to see what happens, but it's not looking good right now. I don't think they're going to be able to work out these differences. It seems like the differences are just too big. You know, these are massive fundamental differences that I don't think they're going to be able to work out. So it looks like what's going to happen is Europe is going to massively arm themselves and massively arm Ukraine, and that's going to potentially cause an escalation in Europe. Potentially Russia is going to move their timeline forward and attack the Baltics and attack Poland, because they're going to feel threatened by Europe suddenly arming themselves. We had Emmanuel Macron say earlier today that he wants to be responsible for the nuclear security of Europe, that he wants France to be basically the guarantor of nuclear security and create a nuclear umbrella, okay? And Germany's new coalition government announced that they're going to be funding 400 billion euros for an emergency defense fund, okay? 400 billion euros for an emergency defense fund. Guys, it sounds like they're preparing for war with Russia. And the U.S. has deployed an F-35 carrier into the Indo-Pacific, bolstering U.S. air power near China. This is the USS Tripoli, the Navy's newest F-35 carrier. The U.S. Navy forward deployed the USS Tripoli to the Indo-Pacific to counter China. It replaces the USS America as the Navy's amphibious assault ship based in Japan. The Tripoli played a central role in the F-35 Lightning carrier concept. The U.S. Navy is stationing its new Lightning carrier in the Indo-Pacific to counter China's growing military influence. Okay, so we have an F-35 carrier going into the Indo-Pacific region. We know that China just finished massive live fire exercises right off the coast of Sydney, Australia, unannounced live fire exercises that forced Australia to divert their air traffic. Okay, that is very, very serious. And then just a couple of days after that, they begun live fire exercises right off the coast of Taiwan. Okay, but the mainstream media is not talking about it. Everybody's obsessed with this Trump-Zelensky blowout on Friday. And, you know, it just makes for like a great soap opera for Americans to obsess over. Okay, but we have other things going on. Don't be distracted, okay? And Poland is calling for more European troops in Finland, the Baltic states, and the Polish borders with Russia and Belarus. And we know that Poland has been building this massive defense line along their border with Russia and Belarus. And they currently have the highest defense spending of any country in Europe, nearly 5%. And the Norwegian Ministry of Defense commented on the refueling issue, where apparently this U.S. Navy warship or submarine was refused refueling in Norway because of what Trump said to Zelensky and the meltdown on Friday. The Norwegian Defense Ministry released a statement saying, "We have seen reports raising concerns about support for U.S. Navy vessels in Norway. This is not in line with the Norwegian government's policy. I can confirm that all requested support has been provided. The U.S. and Norway maintain a close and strong defense cooperation. American forces will continue to receive the supply and support they require from Norway." Okay, so it was just one Norwegian company, not the government of Norway, not the Norwegian military, okay? It was just one Norwegian company that refused to fuel American warships, okay? But the Norwegian military coming out and saying that it's not coming from them. And Moscow has called for direct flights to resume between Russia and the U.S. And earlier today, we had a lot of activity here near Syria and Lebanon. Here we have a U.S. Navy recon drone that was off the coast of Syria and Lebanon. And then at the same time, we had a British aerial refueler near eastern Syria, along with 2 Eurofighter Typhoons. This is an area where the U.S. has gas and oil fields near Deir ez-Zor. Okay, so they were patrolling this area. Very interesting. And then here's a map that was released by the Chinese government showing their live fire exercises last week near Australia. Okay, and it shows the dates. And then you can see here from the 19th through the 22nd, they were right off the coast of Australia doing live fire exercises, totally unannounced. But that's the latest breaking news that I have. I will be back tomorrow with more breaking news. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you have all notifications turned on. YouTube has been unsubscribing people for some reason. So double check, make sure you're subscribed, and make sure you have all notifications enabled. Also consider downloading my free app from the Google Play Store. Just search NYPrepper Emergency Alerts. There's also a link in the description below. And I am working on an Apple version right now, which will be coming out very soon. And this app allows me to send out notifications to you when there's emergency situations happening. I can send out updates directly to your phone. And also when I post videos and go live, I can let you know as well. Also follow me on Telegram and Twitter. The links are in the description below this video. And until the next time, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere. Culinary out. And this update was sponsored by NYPrepper Supply. Guys, NYPrepper Supply is doing a massive sale on their 3-month emergency food supply. And to get the deal, you got to go to preparewithNYPrepper.com, and the link is in the description below this video. They're selling their 3-month emergency food supply for just $600, so that's $100 off the normal price. And this is 3 months of food at 2,000 calories per day, has a shelf life of up to 25 years, and all of this is packed into 6 rugged, water-resistant buckets, and free shipping is included. And they're also offering a disaster replacement warranty, so if your food supply gets destroyed by a natural disaster, they'll replace it for you with no charge. And they also will provide you with free survival books and information, including a natural disaster field guide, a survival Bible digital copy. So use the link preparewithNYPrepper.com to get $100 off the My Patriot Supply 3-month emergency food supply, and the link is in the description below this video.